Yeah, man. Did you see the latest update about Jonathan Majors? So
Yes,
apparently, you did. So apparently, two more women came out and said that they were victims of his as well. Now, I saw it, I think, on IG. So of course, I went and checked on Times and on Rolling Stones. So apparently, this story has been brought by these two, because there are two, brought by these two women to the at least the Rolling Stones since June of last year, but they didn't do anything. And apparently, there were also more people who corroborated the story. So of course, we did that show about Jonathan Majors a couple of shows ago, right? About whether or not it was fair, because we saw the video of him running, and I was telling you. So my whole argument was that, hey, he, you could he, the only thing that he did was he picked her up and put her in the car. But according to the
Mhm.
driver, of course, there were certain things happening. I personally didn't believe that he should have been convicted, or at least convict. Yeah, well,
To third
yeah,
degree. So
yeah. But
by
he
accident.
shouldn't have been. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
for by accident.
It was involuntary. It was involuntarily,
Yeah.
involuntary. Whatever. But I didn't think that he should have been found guilty. He was, but apparently there are two other stories now: guilty until proven innocent, of course. But what's safe to say is, as long as these stories are going around, we he will not be coming back soon. Let me put it like that. Justice
I
Smollett
think
might come back earlier than him.
yeah. Let's make this a main topic. Let's talk about it more deeper in the later in the show.
All right, cool. Hey, with that being said, let me just start the. Unless you had something else to say about it, but okay.
Well, do I have anything? Well, I'm gonna talk
Uh,
about it during the main topic. Let's
you
make
wanna
this a
you
main
wanna
topic.
you wanna dive more? Okay, hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Double Touch Show. Before we proceed, remember to subscribe. We have a good one for you today. We're gonna talk about a couple of topics. We're gonna talk about first and foremost Mr. Kiki Palmer, aka Darius
Oh, you
Jackson.
need to
Who,
disrespect him like that. He's trying to be his
who,
own man these days.
Mr. Kiki Park, Kiki Park, uh, Mr. Darius Jackson, who, I mean, since everything broke down, he's been saying that, at least he's been, I mean, it's been alleged that he's abusive, and he's saying, no, it's Kiki that's being abusive because she's hampering the relationship between her and him, and their do they have one or more child? I don't know.
One kid.
One, the kid. So it's
One.
we're gonna talk about that, whether what he's saying is good or whether it's valid or not. What he's saying. We're gonna talk about 50 Cent. 50 Cent had some comments on the migrant issues in New York in particularly, but apparently had a change of heart. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about the KaiR wants to talk about Jonathan Majors, so we're gonna dive deep into that as well. With that being said, and of course, before we proceed, remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Rate the show by pressing the like button, comment, let us know what you think about our takes, and of course, share. Uh, like the video, so the algorithm helps us pick it up. We're almost, or at least we should be almost at the point of getting to 3,000 watch hours. We had more than 3,000 watch hours. Thank you for your support. We want to thank as well everyone who's been subscribing and has been engaging with us. But yeah, this content creation is a challenging thing, but it's very great to see when you guys react, even the negative reactions. With negative, I don't mean contrary reactions. I mean people suggesting that we look for the bridge not to buy, but to use as an object to reach our destiny. In any case, we do appreciate everyone engaging with us. So, with that being said, let's move on to the first topic. Then I guess it's, and then I guess it's, let me just do that one as well. Yeah.
Good morning, RJ. Good morning. Welcome to the
Good
show.
evening. Good evening.
And it is good evening. Yes, that is true. In real time, it's evening. Difference in anyway. Let's talk about Darius. Darius, the who do we call him these days? Because he's the father of Kiki Palmer's son. He's allegedly giving her the uppercut. We've never seen the video, but people are always talking about it. It seems like he is trying to find his way. And I have a strong feeling. We've been talking about him for a while now. I mean, you see the development in the character. He went from holding the baby, walking behind her, to now saying he was wrong. I have a feeling that he's found a couple of things on YouTube. He's found a community which he's probably influencing his mind. The community reps with ill. The word rhymes with ill. And it's two words. It rhymes with bad and ill. Ill bad. Bad ill. Make it, you can make whatever you want from it. No, but all jokes aside, Darius shares his thought about men being put through hoops to see their children. So he's sharing his own thoughts on the situation he's in right now with Kiki. He went to Twitter because the guy has Twitter fingers. We know that. That's what got him in trouble in the first place with Kiki, or at least in trouble. He was giving his opinion on her dress, and people basically send him to the gulag with that one. Darius said the following: When I tell you that they make men go through hoops when it comes to seeing their own kids, then they have the audacity to throw the fatherless home statistic at your face, let alone make you feel honored to get any type of time with your own child. Too many Ahabs have given these Jezebels a voice and the platform to call the shots. A lot of weak men. I also once was a weak man.
Now I'm
You
found.
you spent your whole life being miserable as a weak man, looking for approval that you'll never get. If I feel for the dads that give up when it came to custody, it's mentally, emotionally, physically draining. You'll lose yourself. My spirit is too strong to give up. We will overcome.
Mhm.
We will overcome. But I totally understand. I have pondered it. And thank God I have an amazing circle. No squares in my circle. Not looking for sympathy either. Trust me, I've seen enough of society to not want anyone else's approval. If I see y'all, I'm gonna knock you out.
Does it say that?
I actually gotta learn to love y'all. And for,
Wow.
and for those that expect me to never speak on anything. That's for my family. Family's private matter. Yes, it's still my family. I share a soul with this person. You can do your own research and make your own judgment. For those who don't have kids, and this is something that I will emphasize to my son, wait till marriage and make sure God is the center of your relationship. There's rules, there's a rule book that's not been given to us thousands of years ago. Best to follow it because everything leads to chaos. These hoes ain't
It doesn't say that. Come on. You should end the quote so people don't think. You should also actually end the quote.
Oh man.
No, but it's clear that he's at least has certain, or he seems to have frustrations relating to the custody battle. I don't understand. Well, maybe that's the lawyer in me who sees no point in these quote unquote battles.
Do you
Uh,
mean as a between the mother and the kid? Or do you mean
yeah,
in
because yeah,
general
and then so between
in this
no the
case?
custody, so a custody battle, in my opinion, is valid when there is a clear parent that isn't a good parent, right?
Yeah.
Either there's substance abuse or manipulation, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
But I don't understand why parents can't just reach a common ground
Outside of court, you mean?
outside of court before going to court. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do understand because at the end of the day, it's they call it a custody battle, but it's a money battle. So it's
Yes.
not the custody and the money battle. They're two separate things, but they get fought. It's the same thing, right? I'm
The
not
same
seeing my
thing.
child. You're not paying. So it's now
But if, if
if
if if he doesn't have to see his child, so this is the I think you have to explain the link between the two because if someone has full custody, the other person has to pay more money to the other person.
yeah. So he's probably looking for the custody battle. He wants the kid probably. So she would have to pay him.
Or or as a primary, which he has been, the primary parent, which usually you oh no, no, I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna let you cook first.
Well, no, go on. Go
No,
ahead.
because don't forget, we were clowning him for being the primary parent. He
But
was
he
the
was
one who
so
was taking care of the kid the whole time, holding the kids while she was walking on the red carpet. He was walking behind her like a weak man, as he would call it himself. I'm
yeah.
not gonna. I'm quoting him. So maybe as you, I mean, let's if you look at this from if he was a woman, wouldn't he have gotten full custody already because he's the primary parent, or at least custody 50-50.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be able
But
to fight for it.
but is he looking for full custody?
I mean, usually, I don't know what he's looking for. Probably for custody because he doesn't have custody now because they put the I mean,
the kid was born outside of wedlock. So
mhm.
probably he might not have legal custody as like he would if they were married automatically. And then because in I'm not a lawyer in the US, but in certain jurisdictions, if you're not married as the man, you don't get automatic custody. You need
Well,
to be recognized. So there's like a procedure, like a formal procedure. You can do it by court, but there are sometimes just formal procedures. In this case, they're not married, right? They're just
well, he said it himself. Keep it
get
between your
married.
legs until you get married. So yeah,
I
but
think he was
don't
keeping
forget,
it
right?
between her legs. But
Yes,
in any,
well, that's what he was trying to teach his son from his failures.
yeah,
Your mama wasn't the right person, probably, and I had to marry her to understand her mind. But all jokes aside, um, the thing you're forgetting is the fact that he lost custody after they filed that physical video.
Yeah.
That's when he lost. So he they were
He
doing
had
50,
it. He had it before that 50-50, and now
and
he's
then
looking for
he
his
gave
fifty
them
percent back.
back. Yeah, because basically they accused him of giving Kiki the beats. I've never seen the video. People are claiming that he gave her the beats, but no one has ever seen the video. Only pictures, frames. I think it's really interesting though that he's saying, "I was a weak man, and now I'm trying to repent myself."
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is that oftentimes when you go through certain things, you realize that you're a weak man. But what's a weak man? It's also like a gray area. Some people call everyone simps. Ha, you're in a relationship, simp. But it's like it doesn't. It's a bit more complex than that. What I would say is that
Can you be a
Cutie
simp in
Palm,
a relationship though?
yeah, you and in a relationship, yeah, you can. Yeah,
Now, maybe
because
for
then
me, it's a foreign. I mean, never been
no,
a simp
as
in my life. But
so a
well, I've
simp,
been a simp.
uh,
I'm
as
lying. I've been a simp in my life. I'm lying.
so so I think almost every man has been a simp at
At
one
any
given
point, yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah. Usually when you're younger and or when you usually
yeah.
your
That's
first relationship
an
or
experience.
I know people that are like in their fifth relationship, they're still simping. But simp is more like the way I interpret simp is that a man does not dare to take charge and lead, but is constantly trying to please the woman. So instead of doing what is right, he'll do what will please the woman, but that's not always right. In that
Mm,
sense, there are many simps that are
that makes sense. Yeah.
they say that they become simps even when they weren't before that, because in order to maintain the relationship, someone needs to budge. And when it's the man budging and following the lead of the woman, they call that simping usually.
Hmm.
But in his case, he got into a relationship with a woman who was bawling from childhood. So she has the money, she has the experience, she has the connection. She's on game shows. She has, I think, a daytime show. So she's balling, and her future is going. His future looks bright. Her future, and he, from what I read, wants to become an actor, or at least wants to act more. It's like a different. It's like a
Face.
different phase. Now we talked in the previous show about Monique and her husband, where she earns more than her husband, but she still
Submitting.
regards her husband as the leader, and she feels safe around him. She feels protected around him. So it's not always linked to money, but I do think money plays a big role. Now, if you don't have money and you're carrying the kid and it's difficult for a woman, I believe, to respect you the way they would respect uh they would respect a man who's working, long
Mm.
hours.
The
And
way
it's double, right? Because the thing is, KR, and that's a difficult thing about calling, you say simp, etc. But oftentimes when I was younger, like a teenage, I used to phrase this, what I'm gonna talk about, like this.
mm,
I used to say women want a, how did I formulate it? Women want savage
Mm-hmm.
so they can, and when they get the savage, their first goal is try to domesticate the savage.
Yep.
And once the savage is completely domesticated, they lose interest and go look for another savage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's like, it's like, seems paradoxical, because the moment they get the savage, a leader, whether they start, it's the death, what do you call death by a thousand cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like death by a thousand cuts. It's just like,
Small pots.
yeah, why are you doing this?
That's
Where are
your
you
way.
going? You don't love me. You don't. And then they, if you're not strong, and with strong, I don't mean work with anger. Get out of here, woman. No, I'm not talking
Not
about the,
gorilla painting. That's what he's trying to say, guys.
not the 60, not the masculinity shown in the 60th 60s. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you need to remember that, oh, she's doing this, but I still have a job to do. Whatever she feels, it's valid to her, but I need to take that into account, but I also need to do what's right. It's a very difficult, very difficult path, I believe. And I've seen extremes. I seen people just, and we talked about it. I seen a streamer saying to his wife, "I think it's time for you to go to bed." And when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa!" My first thought was, "You can't do that to her." But then the wife responded, "Can I stay? Like, can I stay a while longer?" He said, "Yeah, okay, but you need to go to bed soon." And then I was like, that was like a shock for me. But I guess there's that
Version.
end of
Yeah.
the spectrum as well, right? So in between the yes, the yes men and the go to bed, there's,
No,
oh,
no. Either that is not the end of the spectrum.
is this the end of the spectrum?
The end of the spectrum. That's
Okay,
the
my
end of
bad.
the spectrum. That's the end of the spectrum. That's like the you have the guys that are yes men that are giving away the money and praising everything, and then you have on the other side people that do the opposite, which is do the Ike.
Yeah, the Ike method. So, but yeah, so it's very
No, no, no.
difficult. So
Maybe we should change it. Why are we disrespecting Ike, one of the greatest musicians? We call it the Sean Connery. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me know. Should we call it the Ike, or should we give the James Bond his props? He
yeah,
told them
Sean Connery.
in an interview live how to correct. Well, I'm not saying how to correct them. He told them how he corrects women.
Sometimes
Simple.
you need to yeah, sometimes, that was crazy. But yeah, so you have that kind of a spectrum. But you know what, KR, it's very easy to talk, it's very easy to say something when you're single, or with single, I mean not in a committed relationship.
Never
Because
committed
when
to
you
it.
when you're in a committed relationship, you need to deal with that part. And then you can't say, we're going to do this way, we're going to do it that way, just like that, because you also need to take into account the other person's well-being.
It's all about
the,
balance, in a
yeah, and
sense.
the well-being is not the feelings. The feelings maybe form part, but the well-being is overall well-being. So you might be crying, but, for example, you might be crying because I'm telling you we should stop eating junk food, let's start eating salad. But at the end of the day, it's for your own good. You might be crying if I tell you, you know what, if you're gonna go out late at night, just give me a call. Or not crying, we can argue. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it for your own safety. And simps, what they call simps, are people who do everything not to let the woman get angry, and then,
Or sad, crying.
or sad crying. Yeah, yeah. So their whole focus is the woman.
Have you
So
ever,
it's
let me ask you this. Have you ever watched a woman or girl while they were crying in the eye and did nothing but look at her?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Without doing nothing. You see other people comforting her and you're watching and she's watching you like, why are you moving?
Yeah. Well, it all depends, right? It also depends. It depends on a lot of things, Kale. As I mean, as a lawyer, I was once. I had a case once, and the lady started crying, but it was a very heavy and emotional case for the
Yeah.
woman. I didn't hug her, so I just looked at her
Mm-hmm.
because at that point I have a role, and I knew that the moment I hugged her,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship between lawyer and client would change and
Mm-hmm.
become, or at least runs the risk of changing, and will become a, maybe she'll see the friendship, or she'll see, the human. And I don't need her at that moment to see RJ the human. She needs to
Mm-hmm.
see RJ the lawyer, because that's my
Mm-hmm.
role. So as a lawyer, just like a judge can, in some cases judges can walk and give people hugs, but that's not something you do. It's because you
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
never do
create.
that.
You
Professional.
don't
That's
want to.
professional.
Yeah, you need to stay professional.
Your private
But
life. Well, if
and
it,
all
let me ask you. Let me. No, I'm not gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell the viewers. If you ever do that, so I don't. It's a random. Maybe you like her. She likes you. You stand there while she's crying for something that is not important at all. I think. Well, not think. I've seen it happen where she's. It seems like she respects you more because you don't
does it.
fall for the manipulation. Well,
Yeah, well, if it's manipulation, then yes. Yeah. I just look. Yeah, but I don't do that only with crying. Sometimes when people start, um, well, let me talk about women more, because men do it too. But with
yeah.
men, you also see when they start doing things and you just look at them in their eyes. So you just look at them. You will see if someone's really feeling something or not. Because as you said, sometimes they just break just to see, like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you're just looking at me. And a woman will respect you. Men will also respect, but it's like a different kind of respect, right? It's like, oh, this isn't he's not a uh, what do you call it?
Mark.
It's not a pushover. No, it's not a
Hmm.
pushover. I need to look for another one. And with women, it's more like, oh,
Yeah,
he's
they
not a
are surprised
pushover.
when you don't move.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
don't move, it's
you're not a
crazy.
pusher. Yeah.
Seems like they get wet after that. But okay,
Yeah.
talking about getting. Hey, let's jump to the next topic, man. Let's talk about other people, glamorous people that get wet, but then in jail. We talked about this story before a while ago, like last year. Do you remember the equestrian that hired a guy to put try to put a hit on her own husband for
I
two
do.
mil?
I do.
She's been sentenced to 4 years in jail for the attempt of deletion of her own strange husband. This is if you guys don't remember, it's in the show where I think it's called She Devils. It's the and you can clearly recognize her because I think this was also one of the pictures we used in the thumbnail. But this is how she looks these days. So
Sure.
jail has been hard on her.
Yeah.
Sometimes jail change your life. It's life changing. She went from this to this. Can you imagine?
No, KR, I'm gonna correct you. She's Go
Oh no,
back.
no, no! You're right. You're right. I already know what you're gonna say.
Go back. Go back.
You're right. Oh man, you caught me. You caught me.
No, go back up. Go back up. Okay. She's always been that.
I already know where you are going.
It's just at night she can transform to the other one, but she's
It's a
always been
different.
that. Yeah, but she's
Yeah,
always been
this
that.
is
Yeah.
this is the default mode.
Hey, but you know,
And
KR, some men, how are you? I don't know how you look at it, but some guys really like the makeup look. So
no, I
I'm
don't
a
like it.
girl next. I'm the girl next door type of. Uh, so I look for those types. So
Yeah.
I'm always like, so ponytails, no makeup or very little makeup,
Mhm.
jolly, friendly. Uh, that's to me. But some people really like the makeup, the Barbie look. Would you say that you're the same or not?
No, no. The thing with the Barbie look is the Barbie look only applies when she steps out of the house and you're not always with her. So I wouldn't I don't like that. So what you want to have as close, so you don't want to look up someone in their Instagram and when you go on a date they look almost the same or maybe even different. And if she stays a night over and wakes up, you wake up next to a gargoyle. You don't want to do that.
Next to the lady, next to that the nice lady.
Yeah, a gargoyle or whatever you want to call it. So you want to have the difference between what is on Instagram or what you see as close to the reality you see every day. That's the difference
Yeah,
between natural beauty and makeup.
yeah.
If you need makeup to become beautiful, but the thing is this, and this is really interesting, I
But
think.
I'm saying some people like the makeup look. So even if the woman is beautiful
Hmm.
without, they like the makeup look. So they will make their significant other wear makeup before going out. So there's level to that as well.
So basically at home as well.
No, no, when they like to walk outside with the makeup look, but it has nothing to do with beautiful. So she might be beautiful
Hmm.
without makeup, but they would still say, don't go out the house without makeup. And when I say without makeup, I'm not saying like a little something here, a little something there. I don't know the names of the things, but he's talking about like,
Well, if you scratch it, you just get like a high level of dirt on your. You just see the thickness of the makeup. You mean that
yeah.
type of level?
I think there
Mm,
are different levels, but yeah, but like the full thing, like you just
mm.
go out with makeup.
Hey, everyone has his own preferences, right? You cannot. I wouldn't want to see anyone like that the whole time. But hey, it is what it is. Good luck to her. 4 years. I guess she'll learn her lesson. At least you hope so.
No
And
makeup in jail.
there are there is a rot in jail though. There are rots in jail these days. So maybe she won't have a makeup, but she might have a rot to ride on. Anyway, she's an equestrian. It's an equestrian joke. Let's continue with 50 Cent. Hey man, para todos los que están viendo el programa Double Toe Show, al primera vez, somos un programa internacional.
Mhm. Oh,
Bienvenidos. El rapero 50 Cent decidió hablar con el alcalde, el mayor Adams, sobre el surgimiento de inmigrantes en Nueva York y los $1,000 que están
okay.
recibiendo.
Why the Spanish?
Tal vez quiera deportar todos los migrantes él mismo. Welcome to the Double Talk Show. Yeah, okay, okay. No, we need to.
Oh, we'll multilingual. So
I need to show off, man. I need
yeah,
to
yeah.
show off.
All
But
right.
why you ask myself why? Because most of the migrants are Spanish speaking. So maybe they're searching of YouTube what is happening.
Yes.
For those who don't know, what I
Can
said
you
is Spanish.
imagine? Yeah, I mean, if the immigration keeps on going the way it's going, KR,
Yeah.
you will have like New Louisiana, New Texas, or I have to say it, Nueva Texas, Nueva
Te-
Louisiana, Nueva everything. Because that then the what's New Mexico in the US will go will become this Mexico will invade the US from within.
But it's
Take
not
back their
Mexico, though.
territories.
Majority is not even Mexicans that are coming over.
No, you're those Venezuelans.
A lot of Venezuelans. I mean, throughout the whole South America is coming through
But
the
I
through
couldn't
the.
make that joke. I couldn't make that joke with Venezuela because it's not on the border. But anyway, and in any case, I was in New York last month, and
¿Cómo? ¿Estabas en Nueva York?
you just walk. There are a lot of Spanish speaking, more than I thought. So I read about it, I hear about it,
Mhm.
but yeah, you just get to places and there are a lot of Spanish speaking people. But if you look at it, KR, US has always been a land of immigrants
It is. It
because we
is.
don't because we don't talk about who lived there before the US got conquered, got discovered.
Well,
Sorry,
you had in los indianos,
the Native Americans.
los africanos que vienen por primera
Yeah,
vez,
Africans. Yeah.
or the originals, and then came, according to some stories. I'm not saying this is true, but according to some stories, then came the Europeans with their.
No, but people are traveling there. The Vikings used to travel there, so it's there. The Columbus didn't discover anything, but they just he was the after him they decided to settle to not leave.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's the difference, right? No, but yeah, 50 Cent. He had something to say about the whole
yes, yes.
situation.
He basically went to Mayor Adams because if he tried to get to know more about that 53 million prepaid card pilot they had.
Is Mayor
Where
Adams the one that's being? Is he the one that was also involved in a lawsuit?
you're like the media, dude. You know, hey, this guy is about to win. Is that the same guy who punched up
No,
so and
they
so
had
30
they
years
had a
ago?
they
No,
had
but
a
you're right. You're right. He's the
case
one who's being
canceled.
sued right now. Mayor Adams is in a bind, basically. But yeah, he's they he went to talk to him because he posted on Instagram a while ago. What is happening over here? What is happening? Why is this all this money going there? And basically, Adams told him to hit him up. Hit him up. I would love to explain to him so that he can go out and do another tweet saying, you know what, Eric is just a smart manager. And now we understand why he was elected. This is actually his words, right? Why he was elected by the people of New York City.
Is that what he said?
That's actually what he said. talking about tooting your own horn.
My
Damn
strategy, hey, my strategy worked.
well, well, he was crying. I've never seen someone go up and down in emotions. Right before it was like everyone come here, and then it was like, oh, there are too many of them. We cannot handle all of this. Now he's giving out money. Now he's smart again. What are we
Yeah.
doing,
Election.
Eric? What are we doing, dude? Well, election is coming up. Yeah. Hey man, but so that turned in, I mean, it's understandable as well, right? We are seeing more and more videos of weird crime situations, right? In New York, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. You had the people beating up on the cops. Could you imagine that? This was might sound weird, but have you ever seen people in the hood beat up cops? I've never seen that because otherwise you would end up like a starfish in
Mm.
heaven.
I mean, it probably happens or had happened, but uh,
Who do you mean? Three people surrounding a cop with a blicky on his waist and beating
I
him up?
it's so in the history. If you're asking me whether it has happened in the history of the hood, then yes, I do think it has happened. But what's being communicated right now is that they, and that's why a lot of Americans are angry because they're saying this, they are getting treatment that even we can't get. They can stay in places where we can stay. They have access to certain facilities that we don't have access to, and apparently they can hit someone, they can hit a cop, and then get get out
Wait
on
a
bill.
minute.
It's and then flip off the camera people as well. So they
That
really
is
don't
crazy.
care. And I understand that sentiment.
Yep.
It's not like you
Yep.
can come, but if you're in a plane and the plane's going down, what do they always say, KR? If you have children, put the mask on first, on yourself first. Then you go to the children. Because what's the point in you helping the children and then you the child and then you pass out? It doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
I'm more of the school of get your parachute on first. Get your kid's parachute on and jump out of the plane. Don't try to hope that the plane will land. But then again,
Yeah.
people say I'm
What do they call you?
ah, I don't know what they call me.
Uh, no, but it's and how is that all that transpired between 50 and the mayor?
Yeah, they talked. He basically said what the reason is, and then 50 went back out and says he wants to talk to another person because apparently, probably Mayor told him, as a good politician does, it's not me, it's the next man or next woman. Go talk to them. Because of them, I have to do this. Good politician, as they always do. Hey man, whatever happens, good luck to Mayor Adams. Maybe we'll see him cry on TV real quick to get some votes. Who knows? Other than that,
Who knows?
ex FBI agent scams a woman. What would you do, RJ, if they scam you for 700K?
700K. What would I do? Well, depends on how much I had before, right?
Yeah.
If it's all my 700K, you might need to post bill. If it's, but that's a lot of money, so it depends. I mean, if I have like millions of dollars, 700 is still money, but yeah, it is what it is. But what's the
Listen to
story?
the
How did this happen?
story. So how this all happened. So we have this former FBI agent, William Roy Stone, who uh, uh, is accused of convincing a woman that she was on a secret probation for federal drug crimes. He told her as part of her probation term she needed to make payments to him. She made several payments, and now he's being sentenced for 7 years in prison for wire fraud.
1 year for every K, for every 100K. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it.
he's 65. He's 65, so he probably won't see the light ever again.
Well, you'll see the light. All right.
Well, yeah, he did. That's
The,
a one-way ticket, though.
the eternal light.
Yeah.
But so can you explain it to me once more? So he told her that something was going on. So
He told her that she was on secret probation for federal drug crimes, and part of that probation terms, the terms of that probation was that she should pay him 700K throughout a period of time,
but what's a
multiple
so,
payments.
so he was saying that she was on a secret probation.
Hmm.
And what's a secret probation?
Oh, you're a lawyer. Maybe you can explain that.
I don't do criminal law.
Secret probation is whatever type of probation people will use in order to scam you out of money.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let me see if that's a
It's not a real term.
secret.
he's,
uh,
he's, he's gotta search it up.
I'm gonna, it has to be, man. Because why would you say what is secret probation?
Yo, so basically,
Okay,
while you're searching, I'm gonna
the
continue.
probation is secret. A probation is secret because only administration officials and the student. Oh no, that's a student thing.
It
It
doesn't
says
exist.
yeah, it
They
does,
are
but it
money.
says only administration and the student know the student is at risk of being expelled. But that's something else, of course. Anyway,
So this is yeah, this story is crazy. He and Mr. De Leon, a 64-year-old, told the victim that the fictitious federal judge had appointed the two of them to administer the conditions of a 6 year secret probation. 6 years. They required her to text them written reports of her daily activities and to compensate them for their supervisory services, as well as any expenses they accrued. Copies of the multiple six-figure checks she wrote them were admitted into the evidence at trial. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. I don't know whether they knew she was doing something foul because there is no way someone can tell you this and you start paying them. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
well, I think that the she was guilty of something. Well,
Probably she
at
was
least
doing
there was,
something.
yeah, there was something going on. Because if someone comes and tells me I'm on secret probation, I'm gonna tell them for what. And if they tell me it's drugs, I'm gonna say no. So it's like she was probably doing some.
Yeah, probably she got, but they're not saying anything in the article. But probably it's
Medicated.
she has a prior, so maybe they knew she had money and tried to extort her. I mean, you're doing 7 years, man. You and your partner,
Yeah,
Joseph Inventino de Leon.
it is what it
Anyway,
is.
it is what it is, man. Some people exit the FBI and enter into jail. He just retired, by the way.
Guess he's 69, right? So
He's 65. So he
65.
retired in 2015, and basically 6 years later, he's in jail. This is crazy. Some people are just wrecks and
When
are
they say
wrecks.
when they say you need to prepare for retirement, think about what you're gonna do. I guess this is the exam. This would be a reason why. Yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
there have been FBI agents in the past that went rogue, right? Um, what's the guy's name? He's like he was one of the biggest FBI agents that went rogue. He was transporting goods from Escobar back in the days. He had even an island. Oh, I forgot his name. Let me see real quick. FBI agent.
Osama,
No, no, no. That's the CIA agent. A very
I
big
know,
difference. Very
I
big.
know, but still, everyone
Very
knows
big
Osama.
difference.
That's what I'm saying.
Uh, let me see. Gecko. Is it? Is it? Is his name Gecko?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Gecko. Um. Anyway, he was quite big back in the days because it was like in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. He went rogue and started being a middle, like a middleman for criminals all over the world. It was crazy. But this is nothing new. I'm not
It's
saying
like
it's honest.
the blacklist. It's like the back blacklist.
The black actually they used one of the guys that play in the blacklist. He came also in that the guy I'm referring to, the
Yeah,
ex FBI. He was
yeah.
also one of the guys on the blacklist. This is
Seriously.
how they blacklist.
Oh,
They
nice.
dude, let me see it. It's this is. Can you say something while I'm really trying
Yeah.
to.
Well, first of all, I have to say subscribe if you haven't done so already, guys. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Um, and the comments, of course. Let us know what you think, whether you agree or disagree with what we are talking about. But as it relates to the blacklist, I don't know about you, but I watched the blacklist. I watched it. Uh, I think I watched it completely.
Mhm.
Technically, I watched the
All 10
full
seasons?
season. Well, technically, so I watched the first season. Then I watched the second season. Then I watched the third season. But it was like it's always ending with a cliffhanger. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if there are 10 seasons. But in any case,
All
what I
10 seasons.
then did, what I then did was I watched a summary of episode 1 through 6 or something. And then at the end of episode 6, season 6, so season 1 through 6,
Mhm.
so I can watch season 7 completely. And when I got to season 7, it was still the same. It's like I didn't get any answers that I was looking for. So I thought, now I'm gonna watch 7. Any case, I watched it until the end, and I'm confused. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but it didn't give me it ended it it ended in an unorthodox way. Let me put it like that, without spoiling anything.
I have to
Usually,
say it went through
yeah,
different phases, right? Because you had it there was a time real quick when it went like through a woke phase. Out of nowhere, it started becoming woke.
yeah,
You gotta watch the series, dude. You gotta watch the whole thing. I think it was season 7, 8. It was when after the Uncle Vit. During that,
hmm
after that, it suddenly became woke out of nowhere.
yeah,
Well, it
because
was
that
always slightly woke, but it went fully woke
uh,
with the when they got Dembe and
yeah,
um they basically tried to get him out to the gulag.
hmm
Um, and that person was of another gender. Let's put it that way. That was a funny situation, but that whole season was a bit funny. I cannot find the guy's name. I cannot find it. Maybe I'll
Or
talk
you're
about
talking
it.
about the gecko. Yeah, it's okay.
Gecko. I think his name is Gecko. Something
Vasco.
cool.
No.
Vasco. Robert Vasco.
Yeah,
Robert Vasco. That's the guy. If you Google him.
yeah.
He's been the real deal. Robert Vasco. I know it was
Bro.
something with Vasco. American criminal and financier. After several years of risk and investment, he started in the FBI first, and then he went rogue.
Mm. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Are you referring to the? Are you referring to the person that was torturing Dembe with needles and stuff? Whoa, you're right. I'm just realizing this now. Yo,
Around that time, it went
yeah, yeah,
totally wrong because it was suddenly blaming men for everything, and the mother of Marsha was also blaming. Um, well, the so-called mother of Marsha was blaming
yeah,
um, everyone except
yeah,
herself. Yes, you
yeah.
gotta stay woke while you're watching series because otherwise you will get woked. Anyway, let's go back to other woke stuff. Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors got accused an additional two brand new accusations for physical and or mental abuse by two more women. Tell me, RJ, what do you think about this?
I think that yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, this is gonna be the end. This can be the end of his career. For sure, for sure. Well, at least the comeback story is gonna be more interesting. Let me put it
Gone
like that.
for the ages.
Yeah. Um because the case for which he's been accused of, in that case, they showed a video of him lifting up the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, putting her in the car because the girlfriend wanted to follow him wherever he went. And that's just lifting. That's not like involuntarily hurting, but apparently there was some ruffle and scuffle in the car, and that uh caused, the that might have brought damage to the lady. But now, with two more people and witnesses allegedly, um it's it shows that it wasn't a one-time thing or a one relationship thing if he gets accused, because this is still people, might be a money grab as well, right? Might be a money grab. But even without whether it's true or not, we've seen what people do even when there's a news or allegations. We've seen what they did to Michael Irvin, even when the videos show that he didn't do anything wrong. So if they're willing to go so far without a conviction, without proof, with one count being found, with one guilty verdict, even if it's a misdemeanor, in um well, that's a assault case. Well, it's involuntarily hurting someone, but that's
Mhm.
one. And two other accusations of a similar nature, it creates a image of the person, and no one might want to work with him unless he should be able to Derek Jackson. He should try the Derek Jackson method and just admit it and start talking about how, admit it even if it's wrong. This is crazy what I'm about to say, but sometimes if you can beat him, join him. If he's with his back against the wall and there's no other option, you might need to just say, you know what, that didn't happen, or it did, but then
Was
start
that
another
was that on
podcast.
purpose? Was that on purpose? Sorry, I'm interrupting. Was that on purpose?
What?
What you
A
just
back
said?
against, was a back against the wall?
No, the other one.
What did I say? A back against the wall and
If you can't beat them, join them. I guess it wasn't.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, but they can still do it. Like he, I mean, nowadays you can create a platform and start talking. People will listen at the
I,
end of the day. But in any case, the path, the mainstream path, the path that has gatekeepers, It's gonna be a very difficult path for you to tread.
But usually, so I do agree with you on that, but I want to see what they're talking about first, because I mean the allegations against them when it comes to, I mean they accused him in the first case against Jabari, his ex girlfriend, that he was physically abusive and also verbally. Now you gotta ask yourself, the verbally, we heard that it wasn't really like he was giving an instructions, not like the other influencer you talked about earlier. He was given an instructions, basically stop going to clubs and try to be more like Coretta Scott King. That's what he was saying. In a bit more, it wasn't even aggressive. He was trying to make clear to her where you're not like the other normies. We have to be special around here. Then she chose, I want to be like normies. Hey, it is what it is. But if it's the same kind of nature, I think this is just bullcrap. The problem that this has created for him is that it has lowered the bar so much. Usually, allegations followed by more allegations. Everyone wants to. Have you ever noticed this? When someone gets accused, suddenly out of nowhere, people start saying the weirdest stuff. Yeah, he touched my shoulder. I didn't want him to touch my shoulder.
Yeah.
He I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying the trend is usually when someone gets an allegation, suddenly out of nowhere someone else is gonna come in and put their allegations or their crazy story to it, because people are always looking for the bag.
Yeah. The thing is, there are a lot of risks that come with having women around you. Because if this happens between a man, no one cares. Just but if a woman cries help, whether it's legit or not, people will automatically look at you a certain way. So
Yep.
although you can never be certain who someone is, you need to be very careful how you tread, because, and I think I said it in a previous show, if you're going out and dealing with people who have nothing to lose and
Yeah.
everything to gain, they will do. If they have nothing to lose, what do they care if it turns out to be a lie or something? They have nothing to lose but everything to gain. So I don't fault people for using NDAs, the stars, as we talked about in the past when we talk about um, both male and female artists, celebrities, um, and other people using NDAs to protect their brand, to protect their information, to protect their privacy. Uh, but yeah, the question that you should ask yourself then is, should you even get into a relationship, or should you even should you even get into a relationship or date someone without a contract? And that's a very sad world to live in.
And
But
that's the world that most
I think the world is sad
celebrities live
already.
in.
Without KR, without the NDAs and the disclaimer letters, the world is already sad. So if this is the world we're gonna live in, then this is the way we need to move and operate.
Yes, if you have something to lose, you need to protect yourself. Maybe you shouldn't hang out with straggles, man. Don't save people that don't need saving. Understand the mentality of a loser before you deal with a loser.
Yeah. So I,
I
so,
mean, you
so
can recognize a loser from afar, dude. Come on.
yeah, but you have like two extremes, right? So you have on the one hand the super um successful woman who has money, who has her own things going, and who is as busy as you.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, you have the ladies that don't have anything. Well, they do maybe have like jobs, etc. So, well, the extremist people are people who don't have jobs. They're just leeches. But you also
Loser.
have those. You also have people who have like simple jobs, right? They're 9 to 5, and after 9 they are completely free. But yeah, if you don't have anything going on, you have all the time in the world to scheme if you think that the person did you wrong. And yeah, maybe you have to ask yourself, should people even engage with each other without a contract? Engage with each other without a contract.
Hey,
And
idle
that's a
time,
very sad. Yeah.
idle mind is the devil's playground, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you look at the whole story, what happened there, it seems like he was getting the beats. I think we gotta close this topic and go to
Yeah.
the final small one. I think another guy that was also getting the beats was Slim Jimmy from Ray Schmert. Schmert. I don't know if you know you know him, right? I ain't got no type.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
is
know.
everything that I like.
I'm just seeing like two skinny guys with tattoos and like curls, right? Curls, I think, or dreads.
Dreads.
Yeah.
Slim Jimmy. Slim Jimmy is actually bald though. The other guy is
Okay.
the second part is.
Okay.
But Slim Jimmy's girlfriend or mother of his child got arrested last week for alleged domestic battery assault. I guess it's not only women that get into interesting situations. It's also men
Yeah.
behind closed doors.
Yeah. Yeah. You always get
Anything you
people.
want to say?
Yeah. I mean, victims come in every shape and form, ethnicity, and sex. So it's like the difference is no one cares about a man crying because he's scared of his wife. I know of a case, KR, where a man was super scared of his wife because his wife was very emotional, very erratic, very explosive. And when she got mad, she would literally break things, throw plates, throw
Why do you
knives.
stay with someone like that?
Says something about you as well, right? But they have a child. They have a child together, and I believe he was afraid. He wanted to protect the child, something like that. I don't know exactly. I don't recall exactly because this is. I'm talking about something, a case that I got encountered with maybe 8 years ago, 7 years ago. So
Mm.
it's a pretty long time. I don't remember the facts,
That's not the only case, though. Happens quite often, I think.
but I
But
will
it's
tell you
more
this.
so.
Yeah, but I will tell you this though.
Mm.
A colleague of mine back then, and you have to keep in mind that a lot of people we talk to have, so as lawyers, we have talked to have problems, right? And any
Mm.
kind of problem. This was like a very extreme problem, a very rare problem. The person, so my colleague had like a minor or did a course on dealing with people who are grieving and people focus on the situation, which is why she
Mm.
was oftentimes paired with me to do this type of cases, right? Just for
Mm.
the emotional aspect.
Mm.
She wasn't a lawyer though, and I've seen her work and talk with a lot of women, helping them, etc. But I'll never forget the face of disgust she made when he was talking about him. And at one point, she even said, "Well, man." well, not to him, but as we were discussing the case, she even said, "Man up and do something. You're a man." So at that, I'll never forget that moment, KR. I'll never forget it because even people specialized to help victims do not see men as victims
Yeah.
as much
Y-
as they do women. They so at the end of the day, it's not like a pity party or anything. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, men are expected to show up and perform and do what they need to do. And what men feel, and I have to say, I do believe in expressing feelings. I do believe in talking about things. I do believe in cropping up problems, etc. But you need to do it in a you need to be very careful where you do it
Yep.
because I've seen women take that information and use it against them as well. So you really need to be as a man. It's just different. It's just different for a man.
Yeah.
So okay, fine. The mom has been accused of yo was she of battery? You said right? Domestic assault.
Domestic battery assault. That's
Battery.
domestic battery assault.
Yeah. So okay, that's but if it happens once, people will laugh, like they'll say, "Ah, the woman did this." But if it happens more than once, so if you say, "You know what, I'm gonna stay for the kid," and it keeps on happening, no one cares about you like they would care for a
Yep.
woman. So that's what
I
I have to say on the yeah.
I do agree with you on that. The only problem is, so if, for example, in that case where the woman looks at him with disgust because he's not standing up, there's only one way to get yourself out of that situation, and it's never a beautiful situation to get out of, because the only way you can get out of it, I'm not gonna say how, but it's gonna destroy your even it's gonna destroy your image to the outside world even more than it's already been destroyed by the way people look at you if you're being, let's say, a male domestic, a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
at that
either way
point,
you lose. Either way you lose in that situation. Well, if you try to get yourself out or whether you stay in it.
yeah, the problem is oftentimes what happens is that some people stay without kids, and I don't get that at all. Well, that says something about you, but some people stay for their kids. You know why? Because sometimes the mom is so out of control.
Build a case and then leave with a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, but while you're building the case, it takes time, and the mom will keep doing things continuous. So I can understand why it happens because you will look at the child and you will be like, no, I need to keep the peace so the child is safe. Because if I get out the house, the mom will, you know,
Oh, we
bring
all we
more.
all know that usually women, when they lose the custody of the kids, they go even crazier than men. A lot of times.
Yeah.
Probably that's
So
why they
it's,
give them primary custody.
I never thought about it like that. But in any
Well,
case,
they delete kids when they lose the custody a lot of times,
well, men too. Not as
but
much,
not as
not as
much.
much. Because women
But
oftentimes feels like they're my property, my kid. Not in a
yeah,
bad way, but
it-
I can
my
imagine they
kid.
come from you, so it's like they're my kids. So it's
Or maybe something the really first time they feel agape
when when
when they have a kid, right?
oh, I thought when you're going to delete them.
Well, you think I'm a sick guy? What the heck?
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah,
No, no,
maybe
it's like the first you feel the
I,
agape, and then when you rip it from them, they go crazy.
yeah. So I do, yeah. But hey, mental health is a thing, and everyone deals with things differently. Um,
Slim, just
yeah,
remember, take full custody, and this is the thing as well, right? A lot of times men take the higher road in this case. I'll take um DJ Academics for example. He's been dealing. He told his streamers last time around. He's been dealing with his ex girlfriend for a long time. She breaks into his house, does crazy things, and he doesn't files charges against her. He refuses to, but she continuously keeps doing it until one of the times it goes south, and he's the victim in that case, not his things he own because she breaks stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta cut the cord,
Yeah.
but
But that
because you
sounds like a
feel
toxic situation.
it's a very toxic. That his story is crazy. If I'm gonna tell you after the show.
Yeah, I can
Hey
talk
man,
about it. All right, cool. Hey, but with that being said, guys, thanks to every one of you who are still tuned in. If you haven't done so already, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Remember to comment, let us know what you think about the topics we discussed today. Share the video with your friends, your family, and your enemies. And don't forget to like the video so YouTube picks it up and shares it with more people. It's been a pleasure. We'll see each other in the next one. Until next time.
peace.
Peace.